Good morning, friends. Today, let's talk about just dealing with difficult children. And over the years of my mothering, there have been seasons where I have been struggling or frustrated with a certain child about a certain behavior or something like that. And as I reflect back, I like to remember that our kids are just on a journey, that they are eternal beings, that they will live forever, and that they're growing and changing, and that there are things going on in their hearts that are even difficult for them to understand maybe why they do what they do or why they say what they say. And that as a mom, I can just be focused on their outward behavior and not the heart struggle that's going on. A verse that I like to remember is in Proverbs 21:1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like a watercourse wherever he pleases." And just that our kids' hearts are in God's hand and He is working in their lives. So today I might be frustrated in their behavior or in their attitude, but God is at work in their lives and He can direct their heart toward good and toward His truth and toward His word and toward just His presence in their lives. And that is something that I often pray for. But I think over the years, God has taught me so many things as I've been in these seasons of struggle. And He's taught me so many things about myself. Sometimes I could easily have given a video this morning on for my kids on how to deal with a difficult mother, because sometimes it was me. I was the one that was bringing the attitude or just the tone of my voice, and I was the one that was provoking and bringing stress into our relationship. And so all of us are in these relationships, and all of our hearts are at work here, and our attitudes and our tones. And we need to just be reverent before God that we are God's people and we are standing and living before God, and that God is at work in all of our lives. So, many years ago, let me just tell you a quick story. Several years ago, I was sitting and listening to my husband teach. And for many years, I have just enjoyed his teachings. I have been so encouraged and challenged and comforted by his words. And this particular morning, he was going through a series about how to deal with difficult relationships. And his very last point of the morning was, instead of praying that God would change the other person's heart, pray that God would change your heart. And I remember sitting there and that just hit me, just full force hit my heart. Because so many times through the years with my kiddos, I had prayed that God would change their heart, that God would help them. But there was never just this humility in my own heart before God to pray that God would change my heart. That what was at issue here, that what God really wanted to do is He wanted to do a work in my heart. So from that time, whenever I felt this frustration or this stress with my kids, it would often just be this red flag of, Kathleen, pray that God would change your heart. And so I have done that over the years, and that has helped so much because it has taken my focus off of my kids' behavior. It has reminded me that we're in this ongoing relationship, that we are going to live forever before the Lord. But it has also reminded me just that what a beautiful thing that I can bring to my child as they struggle is a humble heart before the Lord, and not just so focused on their behavior and them changing and them getting it right, and just how balanced that has brought relationships. It takes a lot of patience if our children are going through these hard times and they're going through these hard struggles. It takes a lot of patience just to day after day not lose heart, not become angry or impatient with them, but to allow them to work through these things. And I think about, in the word it says, do to others what you would have them do to you. When I'm struggling and I'm having a hard time, boy, I want Stephen to be so patient with me. I want him to be so kind to me as I work through things. And that we can grant that to our children, that they might not get everything right today, that their attitude might not be different, but I can ask before God that He would change my heart toward my child. And years ago, we used to sing lyrics in this old worship song. It said, "Change my heart, O Lord, make it ever true. Change my heart, O Lord, may it be like you." And I think about when my kids are struggling and God is looking down on from heaven and looking at my child. How does he feel about them? Does he feel stressed? No. Does he feel frustrated with them? No. Is he irritated waiting for the next time that they screw up? No, that's not God's heart toward them. He is patient. He is kind. He is slow to anger. And I want a heart that reflects God. And I want my children to look up at their mama's face, and I want them to see the same attitude in her heart that God has toward them. So many times I can come into a conflict with a harsh attitude or a stressed attitude, and just that God would change my heart. And I encourage you, pray that. Pray the next time you're frustrated with your kid, stop and pray, God, change my heart that it would be more like yours toward my child. I hope you're encouraged in that today, and I will see you next time.